The unconscious mind relies on feedback. The more the feedback can be very, 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 very specific and accurate, the more the body and the unconscious will surprise you with what is actually possible.
Is there any relevance of the dreams that we have, or is it just entertainment as what we used yesterday?
Okay, let me just first of all clarify. Okay, Harini and I were talking about this. I said certain conscious thoughts are entertainment, and I was only referring to the ones that you have when you're doing reframing and collapse anchor. I think that the conscious mind is very important, and I think
And intelligent.
and intelligent, and I think the primary purpose of the conscious mind is giving direction and feedback. So I always tell this example of, imagine that you're going into a field near your house and you're finding stones, and there are a lot of stones, and you go pick one stone and you think, oh, it's an ordinary stone, you throw it. You pick another, you recognize it's a diamond, you put it in your bag. And then you pick another, it's a ruby, you put it in your bag, and you find a few of them, and the sun is about to set, you want to rest, and you put it in your bag, you come, you're happy, you cook yourself a nice meal, and you're going to sleep. You put the bag in a secure place. And imagine, as you're sleeping, your friend comes in, very silent, opens the bag, and your friend's like, oh, this is what he likes. And he makes a phone call. And then there are 100 trucks that come, and they go all over the field, and they fill them with exactly the same ones that you picked. And then they park it outside your house the next day. And then you wake up in the morning and you go, wow, this is amazing. And you start celebrating. You send sweets to your friends. You call up your close ones. You say, I am very happy today. And you start sending gifts. Your friend is watching. Oh, he likes this. So that night you sleep again. now instead of 100 trucks, he sends 1,000 trucks. That's the role and relationship between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. The conscious mind gives feedback. I like this. I don't like this. The unconscious mind multiplies it. And then you again say whether you like it or you don't like it. And then the unconscious mind does more of it. I think the conscious mind is very important. The unconscious mind is very powerful. The conscious mind is a feedback. Its importance is the feedback. Even when we meet people who are in critical condition in the hospital, I just become the feedback loop for them. I notice what they're going through. They don't know it. Their unconscious doesn't know it. I find out from the doctors, and then I tell it to them literally, or I tell it to them through metaphors. And then I'm not instructing the unconscious mind to improve. I mean, if the body can heal, it would have healed. I'm giving the missing information. Even with Funny Kumar, when I went and met him, and it was, I went to Hyderabad, and I went to his house, and his doctors are there, and physiotherapist, and his parents, and they're like, what are you going to do? I said, I don't know. They said, have you done this before? I said, never before. And and the worst is, what is your background? I'm an engineer. Thankfully, Funny Kumar was like, he's this, that, he's la, 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 la. So, and then finally it came to, so what would you like to do? How would you like to start? I said, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to watch him do whatever he's doing, and I'll let you know when I'm ready to begin. And I sat there, and I went into a nice altered state, and he was doing whatever he was doing. They were helping him eat because he can't eat by himself, and they were cleaning him, and they were doing whatever they were doing. And in the middle, I noticed that the toes were having a movement, which was unusual from the regular spasms that were going on. So the spasms would go like a flicker. They would go like a twitch. And in about a second, the entire movement is done. But this one was going controlled. It was slower. And then it stopped and it came back. It's different from the reflex movement. It was a single thing that was controlled and moving. And I saw that, and then I said, "Oh, I think I want to work with your son alone, and I want to be in the room, and I want him to lie down." So they got him into the bed. They made him lie down, and all I did was give him feedback, accurate biofeedback. I said, "Unconscious, I saw that your toes are moving with spasm." I have to say that. It's called pacing. Otherwise, his unconscious will think I'm stupid. That I noticed spasm and I'm thinking it is a controlled movement. So I educated because remember, that's what he's believed. And the belief is both conscious and unconscious. He is believing that all movements in his legs are spasm. The belief is so strong that although this movement happened in plain sight, his physiotherapist was there, nobody saw it, because they all believe that every movement is just spasm. And so I have to first convince his unconscious, I know what you know, and I'm saying something beyond that. So I told him, I saw that your toes are moving and they're mostly spasms. But I did notice that there was a time when they were controlled movement. So whatever you were doing about half an hour before, I want you to repeat it. And then I was waiting. In about 5 minutes, the toes moved. I said, now I saw you do it again. Do it again. It moved. I said, good. Do it again. It moved. Now I said, now keep doing it for the next 1 or 2 hours. And he was in a deep sleep. He was just doing it for an hour. He was doing it for 2 hours. And I woke him up, and he could, we would say the left hand, he'd move the left toe, right, and the right toe. We got his physiotherapist, and they said, see, because when someone is paralyzed, they cannot feel the movement. So even if the neuroplasticity was coming in, they had no feedback. It was disconnected. And the physiotherapist said, well, if we say left and the left moves, then we know there's some connection formed. I was giggling inside thinking, I know you would say that, I've already done it. And so I said, sure, let's find out. And then he went and he said left, and left toe moved, right, and right toe moved. Then he said right, left. So, he was controlling the movements. And then they immediately moved him from, they said, well, there seems to be some connection from the brain, not all is lost. And they moved him from passive to active movement. And the unconscious mind relies on feedback. The more the feedback can be very, 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 very specific and accurate, the more the body and the unconscious will surprise you with what is actually possible, or way beyond what you might think is possible. That's how the unconscious mind works. So the dreams, his question, going back to his question about dreams, sometimes dreams are just artifacts. Sometimes they are spontaneously occurring metaphors. Your unconscious trying to communicate to you and get your attention of something that requires something to be handled by you immediately. So we learn more about spontaneously occurring metaphors in Thailand when we do Supermasters. We start helping you come up with dreams while you're awake and shape them kind of lucid so you have control over the end outcome, and you kind of start tying that back to the real outcomes that you're going after in your life, just as a training exercise. And then, then when dreams happen, you know what to do with it, how to deal with it, and so on. So sometimes these are just artifacts. Your brain is doing a lot of things, so it's just processing some things that comes to you as visual memory. But sometimes, and very often, dreams are very important. It's a communication. It's a form of communication.
We never like to complete our video without giving you the opportunity to personally evolve and launch your legacy. Imagine for a moment, what would it feel like when you are impacting the world positively so much and enhancing your business, your health, your family, and legacy. All of this together simultaneously, continuing to grow leaps and bounds, fast and smoothly. If you've got the right motives, we believe Antano and Harini will be able to help you launch your legacy in compressed time. Get Excellence Installation-based personal evolution and keep making a difference, starting with yourself.